Good evening and welcome to another Polyglot Buzz lesson. Today we are going to do lesson 6, which is the interrogative pronouns. Interrogative pronouns are question words. So when, why, how, where in Spanish. Cuando, when, por qué, separate with accent, why, porque the tone of the voice, because, ¿dónde? Where? ¿Cuál? ¿Cuáles? Which? Singular, plural. ¿Cuál? ¿Cuáles? ¿Cómo? How? ¿Cuánto? ¿Cuántos? ¿Cuántas? Uncountable? ¿Cuánto? How much is it? ¿Cuántas? How many houses? 1, 2, 3 houses, countable. So, ¿cuántos? ¿Cuántas? Depending if it's masculine or feminine. ¿Quién? Who? ¿A quién? To whom? ¿De quién? From whom? ¿Qué? What? So, let's do a couple of examples. ¿Cuándo vuelves a casa? When are you coming back home? ¿Quién ha roto la ventana? Who broke the window? ¿Qué comes por la noche? What do you eat in the evening? There are two ways of asking a question in Spanish. First, if you want to try to be polite, ¿podría pasarme la sal? Could you? You put the auxiliary verb in the front, and then you use the podría instead of the present tense puede. So you use the conditional to make it more polite, just like in English. Could you instead of can you? Yes, you can. I know you can. You just grab it and pass it, but could you? Are you being polite? Or you don't ask the question per se, you make a statement. So you don't say, could you pass me the question, the sal? You would say, I would like a kilo of oranges. I would like to speak, but I'm not saying, could I speak? That's a question. I'm saying, I would like to speak, but you're kind of asking for permission. So even though it's a statement and not a question technically per se, you are trying to ask a question. Me gustaría hablar. I would like to speak. So let's do a couple of questions. If we put the verb first, ¿ha salido ella ya? As soon as you put the verb in the front, we know that a question is coming, like in English. Can you do that, please? We don't have your auxiliary verb, do you? So we cannot use do to instill the beginning of a question. Do you speak English? ¿Hablas inglés? Or you just raise the tone of your voice and you make a statement. ¿Tienes hermanos o hermanas? You have brothers or sisters? Technically, it's not really grammatically a question, but the tone of voice is telling you that it is a question. Have you got brothers or sisters? In English, it's a question, but you have brothers or sisters? The tone is a question, but the grammar is not correct in English. But in Spanish, you can do that. You actually can do that. So let's revise. See if you can find the correct interrogative pronoun for the following sentences. ¿Cuál es el pronombre interrogativo correcto? Elija el pronombre interrogativo apropiado para cada oración. Appropriate. So, get a pen, write them down on the side, because I will give you the answer at the end in one box. ¿Está Juan? Juan está en casa. So, where is John? John is at home. ¿Estás haciendo esto? Why are you doing that? Because I always have to give a clue so that people know what I'm asking. Hora es, what is the time? We saw that in a previous lesson, so that's a revision. ¿Es la fiesta? El lunes. El lunes. When is the party? On Monday. ¿Horas hay en un día? How many hours are there in a day? And I'm saying it's feminine and it's plural, so you need to think of the variation on that question words. ¿Te llamas? What is your name? We saw that as well. When is to complete your birthday? Also, we saw that, the 25th of May. I put the 25th of May so that you know that the question is when. Feminine singular. Is your favorite activity? ¿Es tu actividad favorita? ¿Es tu casa grande o pequeña? What is your house like, big or small? So stop it here until you have time to write your interrogative pronouns in Spanish. And when you think you know, then click play, and then I'm going to give you the box right now. ¿Dónde está Juan? ¿Por qué estás haciendo esto? ¿Qué hora es? ¿Cuándo es la fiesta? ¿Cuántas horas hay en un día? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cuándo es tu cumpleaños? ¿Cuál es tu actividad favorita? ¿Cómo es tu casa? ¿Grande o pequeña? How many did you get right? I hope all of them. Artículos definidos. These are the articles that mean the in English. When you put an article in front of a name or a word, it's referring to a specific. For instance, bring me the apples. What apples? Those ones, the specific apples. The apples in that basket. The child was running in the street. One specific child we're talking about was running in the street. So, it does matter which child it is. So we have el, la, los, las. For English, the. El, singular masculine, la, singular feminine, los, plural masculine, las, plural feminine. Lo is a neutral article and is only used for non-physical nouns. For instance, lo bonito, that which is beautiful, siempre inspira, always inspires us. Lo bueno, the good, lo malo, the bad, they are both possible. They are both possible. I can't touch it. I sense it and I know it, but it's not a thing I can touch. Okay, so on the other side, we have the indefinite articles, which is a or an, which put in front of a name, and it doesn't really matter which child was running in the street. A child was running in the street. So it's not important that this particular child was running. What is important is that someone was running in the street. So I hope you can see the difference a little bit. In a rainy day, he was getting wet, or in a day with a lot of traffic and he was in danger. So the situation, the circumstance, the context is what is important, not the fact that this particular child was actually running in the street. So it's una. Un chico, una chica. It's not really complicated. But when we have some prepositions after the article, we call them contractions, A or D. So for instance, voy a el café. I am going to the coffee shop o café, to drink a coffee. Voy al café. Vengo de el médico. Vengo del médico. So A plus L is al, and D plus L is del. Important. I hope you like the lesson. I didn't want to put too many exercises because I didn't want to make it too long. I'd rather do the exercises in the test after lesson 8. Every 4 lessons I'm going to do a small test, and then you can check the corrections because I always give you the corrections. Those are in Polyglot Buzz, so join my community for the test. Otherwise, you can go to the internet. There are plenty of exercises there, and if you have questions, you know where to find me. So join the Polyglot Buzz community and share the joy by learning together. To talk, to listen, to read and write, communicate and expand with my Patreon community in Polyglot Buzz. So as usual, if you liked it, love it, like it, subscribe it, share it. See you next time. Bye.